Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Axe Giant: The Wrath of Paul Bunyan. Yeah. It's a story of a bunch of, apparently some kids who did some bad stuff, who goes to sort of like a reformatory boot camp, who go out into the forest to do some hiking and some other stuff. And one of them decides that they're going to try and grab the horn of the late Babe the Blue Ox, and Paul Bunyan decides he's coming out of retirement to start killing again. Yep. That's nice.
But it takes a big book like this one to tell the story of American folklore.
Not really. This movie actually sucked. So yeah, Paul Bunyan is going around killing people with his axe and stomping people into the ground and doing all kinds of really stupid, ridiculous crap with some of the worst special effects you probably see this side of, I don't know, the first Hulk movie. Okay, maybe not that bad. But yeah, this movie was just all around terrible. Pretty good kills, but bad special effects, bad gore, and idiotic horror in this movie. Basically, Paul Bunyan has decided to no longer be a peace-loving, swing his axe, chop down trees kind of guy. When a bunch of settlers, about around 200 or so years ago, see a very bad-looking Babe the Blue Ox. And I don't mean bad-looking as in it was sick, as in it's probably some of the worst special effects for a blue ox you'll ever see in your life. So these settlers, hunters, whatever you want to call them, go and get Babe the Blue Ox and turn it into dinner. Paul finds out, goes on a rampage, and starts killing the settlers. Cutting heads off, cutting limbs off, the whole 9 yards. And then, of course, Paul winds up getting caught by the townsfolk and closed off into a cave, where apparently somehow he grows without eating or anything like that, but I don't know. So Paul Bunyan comes out of the cave when he finds out that one of the little miscreants, one of the little miscreants steals Babe the Blue Ox's horn from its gravesite. And then he goes around and just starts killing the teenagers and their annoying little one-liner. Got to come up with a cool sort of nickname for you. Drill sergeant kind of guy he's supposed to be. He was really annoying. It all comes down to this cop and this one woman and this other woman who was also leading the pack, trying to be sort of like the good conscience to the bad conscience to Sergeant Annoying. It comes down to those three, and Paul looks at the young girl, and apparently he sees that she was his one-time love. I'll tell you guys the God's honest truth, if she's still looking the same after about 200 years, that's a lot of facelifts. Anyway, the movie winds up with Paul chasing down the cop and our final girl and the other woman who was basically put in charge of these miscreants, chasing him down a bridge, and the townsfolk get together, shoot Paul in the chest around 400, 500 times, and he falls into the river below. The special effects for Paul Bunyan were god-awful. He was all sorts of different sizes. He was tall, he was short, he was fat, he was thin, he was muscular, he was bloated. This whole movie was just pure D god-awful. So, if you've seen it and you want to let me know what you think about it, please leave me a comment below. I'd really like to hear from you guys. And if you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. And of course, if you got a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie you'd like for me to review, send it this way and I'll do it as soon as I can. This is part 1 of your little Christmas schlocking stuffer. Part 2 will be up here shortly. So, to all of you, have a Merry Christmas, and, well, if you see a 50-foot guy coming at you with an axe, well, it's probably not that men's cologne.